Hello, my name is Mike, and today you will learn how to play the Stability Island board game. Players choose their character and themed equipment. If there are fewer than 5 players, return and use themes to the box. A solo player uses Island Mammoth items. Setup. Each player receives 5 equipment cards that are placed face up. They have a player mat that is to be used for placing their Atomster tokens and Nucleon crystals. Themed draw cards should be shuffled and placed face down on their themed location. There are a pile of Atomster tokens and 2 piles of Nucleons that players will collect throughout the game. Players set up near their themed area and collect a Nucleon crystal of their choice and place it on their player mat stability grid. Themed draw cards. The draw card packs have 3 types of cards. Trading cards. The trading cards show different numbers of red or blue Nucleons, which can be retained and used for buying or renting exploration equipment. They can also be exchanged for Nucleon crystals that can be used on the stability grid or stored for future trading, then the card is discarded. Equipment cards. When a player draws an equipment card, they need to use that piece of equipment to retrieve the Atomster tokens. If the player does not have it, then they will need to hire or buy the equipment from another player. The Dice Challenge. The Dice Challenge is used to settle disputes if the equipment can't be sold. The seller calls for pips or headings. If there's no owner, they get half the reward. These cards are returned to the pile. The bonus card. Learn some science and get free Atomster tokens. Navigation dice rolls. Each player rolls navigation dice to move around the board. Players need to quickly navigate from side to side to collect alternate colored crystals. The red dice indicates north and south directions, while the blue dice shows east and west. There are 2 types of movements. Roll compass headings. Players can move any number of steps in the direction of the compass heading. Roll dice pips. Players can move by the number of pips in either direction based on its color. If a player rolls a blue pip face, then they can move east or west by the number of pips, and a red dice allows movements north or south. The player moves based on the combination of the 2 dice, which will result in up, down, and across movements. Empty tile actions. When a player lands on an empty tile, they get to pick up a draw card from the closest pile of themed cards. Exploration card actions. If they get an exploration card, then they need to find the corresponding equipment token in order to collect their reward of Atomster tokens. The player may need to rent or buy the equipment item if they didn't already own it. Trading card actions. If the player picks up a trading card, then they can retain it for buying or renting more equipment, or they can exchange it for the equivalent amount of Nucleons. Some can be added to their stability grid, and the others can be stored in their trade grid. Trade zone Nucleons can only be used for buying or renting and don't count as victory points. Nucleon tile. If the tile has red or blue Nucleons, then the player must collect the equivalent amount of crystals and place them on their stability grid. Chain reactions. Players must maintain stability to avoid chain reactions that could lead to losing Atomster tokens. Players need to fill each line on their stability grid in order, otherwise excess Nucleons will cause a chain reaction. Players must discard an equivalent number of Atomster tokens, and pass the excess crystals on to the next player. They need to absorb the crystals or add another if they can't. Chain reactions can eliminate entire stocks, and must run their course before resuming normal play. End game. The main objectives are to explore for Nucleons and Atomster tokens. Players build atom monsters with collected tiles. The game ends when a player fills their stability grid, but the winner is determined by scoring. Players donate a Nucleon crystal to their favorite Atomster, and the highest score wins. Enjoy exploring Stability Island.